Let's cook around the world. Together, we'll travel the world one recipe at a time. And today's recipe comes from China, and it is chicken chow mein. The roots of this dish go far back into Chinese history, almost 2,500 years to be precise, to the Han Dynasty. Through time, it has made it to almost every corner of the world, with as many variations as there are countries. In the UK, chow mein is the favourite stir-fried dish. These easy stir-fried noodles with tender chicken, crunchy vegetables and simple sauce are truly delicious. When properly made, chicken chow mein is comfort food at its best. It takes less than 30 minutes to cook and will taste way better than anything you can buy from your local takeout or a restaurant. So let me show you how to cook this delicious recipe step by step. And as always, a full list of all the ingredients and quantities are available at the end of this video, as well as in the description box below. The actual cooking time is less than 15 minutes, so it's very important to have everything ready and prepped before we start. We're going to start off by marinating the chicken. Cut your chicken pieces into bite-sized chunks or strips so they cook evenly. For the marinade, I have mixed together 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, half a tablespoon of dark soy sauce, half a teaspoon of salt, pinch of white pepper, half a teaspoon of cornstarch and 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. Add to the chicken and give everything a good mix. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I prefer chicken thighs to breast as I find them more succulent and flavourful, especially in a dish like this when we're cooking on a high heat. For me, chicken breasts tend to dry out too quickly and you end up with dry, hard meat instead of something that is juicy and tender. Give it a good mix and leave it to marinate for around 15 minutes while we prep all the vegetables. Bring your wok up to temperature. For this dish, we're cooking on a medium-high heat. Add your oil, and when it starts to smoke, add your marinated chicken. Spread it out evenly so more of it is touching the surface, as this will allow it to cook quicker. Leave for around 30 seconds to allow the pieces to start searing on one side. Now stir fry until all the pieces are evenly seared. At this stage we don't need the chicken to be cooked all the way through, as it will be fully cooked by the time we finish the dish. We're cooking with chicken today, but this dish works equally well with beef, pork, shrimps, and it works especially well for tofu as an alternative to meat for those who prefer a vegetarian option. Once all sides are evenly seared, we're going to remove the chicken from the wok and allow it to rest. Add a touch more oil to your wok and bring up to temperature, and when it starts to smoke we're going to add our onions. We're only going to stir fry the onions for around a minute as we want to retain some of the crunch and we don't want them to become too soft. When they become translucent and fragrant, we're going to add the crushed ginger and garlic. Garlic tends to burn very easily at high temperature, so again we're only going to cook this for around half a minute. And as soon as you can start to smell the garlic aroma coming from your wok, you know we're ready for the next ingredients. Next, add your vegetables. I'm using carrots, peppers, mixed cabbage and Chinese leaves. Everything has been finely shredded to allow for fast cooking. These are the most common ingredients used in most stir fries, but this dish is so versatile you can really use whatever you have to hand. It's a great way to use up all the leftovers you have in your fridge. Again, the quantities are really up to you. Once you have made this a few times, you will naturally adapt this to your own taste. Add the spring onions. Finally, add your bean sprouts and give everything a good mix. We're only going to cook this for around 30 seconds as we don't want the bean sprouts to lose their crunch. Now this next step is purely optional. My family prefer quite a saucy stir fry, so I add a cup of chicken stock to my recipe. But you can skip this step if you prefer a drier final dish. Add your chicken back to the wok, including all the juices that have been released, and give everything a good mix. Add your noodles. These are stir-fry noodles that you can pick up from almost every supermarket. They were pre-cooked before I started to fry. They're easy to cook if you follow a couple of basic steps. For best results, we don't need to boil the noodles like we do with pasta. Just soak them in hot water for around 4 minutes and then drain and pat dry with a paper towel and leave to one side until we need them. Pour the chow mein sauce into your wok and stir well. By adding the stock earlier, there should now be enough sauce to wrap around all the noodles evenly. For a long time I struggled to get the chow mein sauce just right. No matter what I tried, I just couldn't get the flavours to match that from my local Chinese restaurant. And then I discovered Shaoxing wine, the secret ingredient. Just add a few drops of this to your sauce and hey presto, you have something that is better than any restaurant or takeout. You can get this from most East Asian stores, and I would highly recommend you getting this to get that authentic chow mein flavour. Add your cornstarch to thicken up the sauce. And lastly, add some spring onion leaves and give everything one final stir. Making a stir fry is easy. Just follow these basic steps shown in this video and then feel free to adapt the recipe to your own personal taste. To serve, transfer the stir fry into a large serving dish. And sprinkle over some spring onion leaves just for garnish. And when it looks like this, your chicken chow mein is done. Try this for yourself. I'm sure this delicious and easy comfort food will become a favourite with your family as it is with mine. See you in the next video, and as my friends say in China, 吃好，一好。